Yeah, Abhishek, I think we can start.
Yes,
Can
sir.
we
Yes, sir.
start?
We can start. So, sir, two, three people
Yes.
joined in the middle while, sir, in 2, 3 minutes. They're facing some problem in login. So I'm
Huh.
following up. So you can start, sir.
I'll start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Uh,
Afternoon, sir.
yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Today's session, basically, we are trying to see what new changes are coming in GST. It is already come, not coming, right? It is already come from the month of January. I hope some of you know that what changes are there and what is the relevance of these changes, what is the importance of these changes, and one more very critical thing that is going to be implemented from 1st of April is that every business whose turnover is going to be 5 crores and above, okay, 5 crores and above, those businesses have to generate e-invoice for every B2B sales or outward supply that they make. So in this session, what we are trying to see is more, see, in this session, we are trying to understand more on the domain aspect of what changes have been effected recently on the GST compliance part of it, and how are we going to be compliant with the new changes and the new requirements that have been implemented from 1st of January 2021. And also we will see that how Tally as a compliance solution software, what kind of support that Tally offers for businesses to be compliant with GST and use the only technology which is their business solution software, which is TallyPrime. Okay, so any new changes, I'm sure that all of you are aware that any new changes or any new updates that is going to come in Tally, all those changes are going to happen only in TallyPrime. So if people are using Tally ERP, I think probably you can speak to our partner, Synergy Solution, I think Mr. Kodandaram, right? Kodandaram, or I think Soumya,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So yeah, speak to them and see how you can adapt to these new changes that is going to come. So let me quickly share my screen. Yeah, I hope my presentation is visible.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
It is visible, right? Okay. So we will see the latest updates that is happening, and unfortunately, from the time GST was implemented on 1st of July 2017, and we are almost going to be 4 years since the implementation of GST. And as business person, that we know that what kind of difficult phases we went through, and every 3 months, every 6 months, there is something or the other new changes that are happening. So compliance has been really a big problem for especially small and medium industries, where you need to spend a lot of energy effort into it, and obviously the time is going to get spent on the compliance aspect of it. Now, with the lessons that the government has learned in this last almost 4 years, uh, the government also, the GSTN is also trying to see how they can simplify and how things can be automated using the power of technology, so that the compliance of the taxable person or the taxable dealer becomes seamless. And the compliance should be like how in Tally you pass your purchase entry, sale entry. If you have enabled GST, the way you are going to pass your normal purchase entry, sale entry, you are going to pass, and automatically the all the values related to GST, whether it is B2B or B2C, or whether it is export, whether it is import, whether you are selling to SEZ, or whether you are selling to any e-commerce, and all those things, just by configuring, you are able to get all those information in Tally automatically in those respective written form. So that is where hopefully now the infrastructure of GSTN is becoming quite robust, and they have become quite dependable, and the confidence level of the GSTN is really gone up. And one very good example of the confidence level, and for all of us to know that the backbone or the infrastructure of the GSTN is now really robust, and it is working, right? So we saw introduction of e-way bill. There were so many postponement. GSTR 3 was supposed to get implemented, never got implemented. And we have seen that many times, every time there is being a postponement. Annual return, there are so many postponements. But the government has achieved the first milestone on 1st of October 2020. So what is that milestone? The milestone was the e-invoicing was implemented for the first time with the revamped technology with which the GSTN is working for all those businesses whose outward supply is up to 500 crores, 500 crores and above. And there's never been a glitch, right from day one. The GSTN has never faced any problem, and that is the confidence that they gave the GSTN to implement e-invoicing for all those businesses whose turnover are 100 and above. Again, you must have probably, if you have any of your business colleagues who are generating e-invoice, whose turnover is more than 100 crores, probably if you just speak to them, you would know that, like, there's never been any glitch, and the speed at which these people are able to generate e-invoice is amazing. So what is that we have to, what is the lesson that we have to learn, and what is that we have to, be aware of the fact that now anything the GSTN is going to implement, there is never going to be any delay in the implementation. So many of us will fall under the turnover of more than 5 crore and above, where I hope and I believe that, see, there are like discussions happening in the market, where the government will introduce in phased manner up to 50 crore or something. Whatever is the case, see, one thing that it is very important, in the last 3.5 4 years, we have seen that GST has been the biggest factor which decides our business, right? So we have seen this in the last 4 years, right? So being prepared is better always. So it is like, prevention is better than cure. We have heard this statement. So it is better that we are prepared. So we will see what changes have happened recently, and how are we going to face the upcoming e-invoicing, in case if it is going to be implemented for all the businesses above 5 crore and above, right? So the first one, that, basically the latest thing, and how compliance can be simplified. One is how GSTN is simplifying the compliance from their end on the portal side, and how Tally is actually collaborating with the GSTN and trying to simplify our business men, the entrepreneurs who's using Tally, how Tally is going to simplify this compliance also. So the first thing is the return filing. There is some change that has happened for the businesses whose turnover is up to 5 crore, right? And especially businesses who were filing their GSTR 3B return, which is a monthly return, where you basically provide the consolidated information of your outward supply and inward supply. Basically the tax amount of the inward supply, and the tax is paid through GSTR 3B. So people who are filing GSTR 3B quarterly, now to one, see, this is again, you have to see that why did the government introduce this new change from January, right, and up to 5 crore thing. So this is basically the government is testing, right? So that is what we are going to see, what are the areas that they have given the benefit, and definitely it is going to benefit the government also, and for businesses also you will see the benefit. So what are the new things that has happened, right? So one, if you see, you must be hearing this new terminologies, right? QRMP, and today's meeting also we say QRMP, right? So fortunately we have given the full form of QRMP in our material that we have sent on the session. So QRMP basically stands for quarterly return and monthly payment. So there is a change, and some of you, if you have gone to your portal to file your January return, you would have had a shock of your life, right? Because you will suddenly you will see that GSTR 3B is not available on the portal. That is basically because of this new change that they have introduced. So what the government is doing now for small businesses up to 5 crore is that they are saying that you will file your GSTR 3B also on a quarterly basis, okay, and you will make the payment on a monthly basis. Okay, so this is one thing. So we will see in detail, we will try and understand what is this quarterly return, how do you going to make the monthly payment, and also this is a beautiful feature that they have introduced for the small businesses also. One is the other one is the IFF. So what does IFF stand for? IFF stands for Invoice Furnishing Facility, right? Invoice furnishing facility. So these are the two major things that has been implemented already as of today, as we speak now, and the e-invoicing is also expected to be implemented in the next 23-25 days. It's going to be implemented. So first we will try and understand what is this QRMP scheme, which is quarterly return monthly filing scheme, scheme under GST, the invoice filing facilities, and all those things, right? So first is that why do we need quarterly return and monthly payment? Okay, so the reason basically is to, like I mentioned earlier in the introduction, to simplify the compliance of the taxpayers. Okay, so basically up to 5 crores, where by filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B return on a quarterly basis instead of monthly basis, so that basically your cost of compliance is going to be reduced, right? So though people have opted for quarterly GSTR 1 return of their outward supply, but the GSTR 3B were supposed to be filed, and for you to arrive at the GST liability on a monthly basis, you have to have complete detail of your outward supply and your inward supply. So it's as good as, I mean, like GSTR 1 is only just thing is that you file once in a quarter, but the effort is going to go on a monthly basis, right? So that is where basically by introducing this quarterly return and monthly payment to reduce the compliance burden, the scheme was introduced. Just a minute. So what is this quarterly return monthly payment scheme? This scheme allows the taxpayers to basically on a quarterly basis to file your return and make the payment on a monthly basis. So when was it effective from? It was made effective from 1st of January, and many of us didn't even know that this changes happened. We are supposed to give consent of this thing, but then the GSTN has done some kind of a deemed acceptance of this new system. We will see a little later how they have made it deem acceptance of the new system, right? So this is where it is going to reduce the number of returns that you are going to file on a monthly basis. So now it's going to be quarterly return of your GSTR 1, which in any case you have been filing your return on a quarterly basis GSTR 1. Now, who are eligible? So we have already seen this. I've already mentioned about this, right? All those taxpayers whose turnover is less than 5 crore, okay, in the preceding financial year. Right. So if your turnover is less than 5 crore, then you will fall under the scheme of quarterly return and monthly payment. Right. So and a registered person who is required to furnish a return. So in any case, and this is going to be applicable for regular dealers, right? So in any case, monthly we are filing GSTR 3B. So for all those people, ideally for all the registered dealer, this is going to be applicable. Okay. So the aggregate turnover for the preceding financial year shall be, so again it is very very important. So one, it says that it is already calculating. I'm sure that you people are aware that aggregate turnover is based on PAN. So which means, let's say you have some business in Karnataka, you have some business in Maharashtra, Delhi, or any other place. Your 5 crore turnover is going to be considered as for that PAN, the total turnover of your operation in Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Delhi. That is what basically we call this as an aggregate annual turnover. So based on the returns that have been filed, based on the PAN, the department now has all the information. So in the last 4 or 5 months, probably when you have gone into the portal to file your GSTR 3B return, you are seeing that there is a new return form called GSTR 2A, right? The 2A GSTR is basically, it now gives you the detail of all those inward supply that you have made, which is basically the purchases that you have made, and all those people who have uploaded their invoice, right? So you see that, so which means literally now, so going forward, you cannot claim input tax credit based on the invoice that you are having. You can claim your input tax credit only based on the value that gets reflected in your form 2A, right? So that is the whole idea of bringing this, and also giving the facility of invoice furnishing facility for small dealers. Okay, so this is how the turnover is going to be achieved. And the scheme, basically it says it is optional, but then they have made it as a deemed thing. We will see how this has happened. Okay, so and again it says in any quarter. See, let us say that in any quarter. So let's take the next financial year, April, May, June. So you are filing, so you will be under quarterly return monthly payment scheme, and April, May, June, your turnover basically is below 5 crore. The second quarter is also below 5 crore. Now, when you're going to the third quarter, right, your turnover is exceeding 5 crore in the quarter three. Then you will be out of this QRMP scheme, which means from the subsequent quarter. So you will file your quarter three, which is your October to December quarter. You will file your return based on the QRPM, and from January, the fourth quarter of the next year, you will now move out of this quarterly return and monthly payment. So the turnover criteria you have to remember is that 5 crore, where you should not cross this 5 crore. This is what is the quarterly return criteria, which is basically deemed for quarterly return filing. So how they have done is that all registered people with an aggregate turnover up to 1.5 crore who were furnishing GSTR return on a quarterly basis in the current financial year. So your turnover is less than 1.5 crore. You are filing your GSTR 1 on a quarterly basis. Automatically you are deemed to have been accepted the new scheme. That is your point number one. Point number two, registered person whose aggregate turnover is up to again 1.5 crore and who have furnished their GSTR return monthly in the current financial year. So there are people who have opted for GSTR filing on a monthly basis rather than filing on a quarterly basis, even though my turnover was below 1.5 crore. So for those people, automatically you will have this monthly return continuing, because you have already voluntarily you said that I will be compliant every month. So you will be under the monthly scheme. You will not come under your quarterly scheme here. Okay, and registered people having aggregate turnover exceeding 1.5 crore and up to 5 crore in the preceding financial year. That is, in the preceding financial year, If your thing is more than 1.5 crore and less than 5 crore, again the department has deemed you as a person who is going to be qualified for this QRMP scheme. Okay. You people can stop me in case if you are not following or you want me to repeat, or you have any question. You people can raise your hand, so I'm actually able to see all the participant here. You can raise your hand, and then probably let's make this as more of a interactive session than me dumping knowledge on you. Okay, so any question you have, please you can unmute yourself and ask question, or you raise your hand and then we can discuss. IFF. So we saw the full form of IFF. It says Invoice Furnishing Facility. Now this is the trial basis. You have to remember why this scheme has been brought in. This scheme has been brought in for all the small people to get used to the new system of filing the invoice on a regular basis or on a daily basis, or you don't have to wait for the quarter end or the month end for you to file your return, right? So this is the invoice furnishing facility. This is where basically the department, the GSTN, were talking about 2 years back that they are going to come out with this kind of a thing. So it has already been implemented. It is available today on your portal. You log into your portal, you have this IFF facility. So what is this IFF? Now your turnover is up to 5 crore rupees. All right. So what are you supposed to do? You have to do an estimate of your tax liability on a monthly basis, and you will make a payment on a monthly basis. Okay. A. B. Now, once in 3 months, when you are going to file your GSTR1 and your GSTR3B, right, you are now going to give the detail of all the invoices that you have made to B2B, B2C, and all those things, right? So that way, what is the problem? See, one more thing, you must be aware that today, even that 5%, so now it has actually become 5% of the value of ITC that is available on your portal. So you are aware of that. So last year, October, they introduced, and they said up to 15% extra, which means, let us say you have the input credit of say 1 lakh rupee. That means you have purchase invoice where you are eligible to claim 1 lakh of input credit. Okay. But now all those suppliers from whom you have purchased, right, they are supposed to file their return. Now, when they are filing the return, let us assume that there is only 50,000 rupees worth. When I'm talking about 1 lakh and 50,000 rupees, it is basically the tax amount I'm talking about, not the taxable value or the assessable value, right? So you have an invoice of 1 lakh rupee, and all the supplier have uploaded the invoice of only 50,000 rupees, right? So last year in October, they said, okay, I will allow you to claim extra 15% of what invoices are available for you. That means you are eligible. Your GSTR 2B was showing at that time, it was 2B. Now 2A is also come. So 2B was showing 50,000 rupees. So now if you want to claim your input tax credit while filing your GSTR 3B for the current whichever month, then you have to ignore your 1 lakh rupee. So you have to take that 50,000 plus 15% on that is going to be 7,500, which means you can claim only 57,500 out of, even though you have 1 lakh rupees worth of thing. Then they reduced it to 10% from 1st of January 2020. It was 2019 they introduced, and then from 1st of January 2020 they introduced 10%. And recently, just 2 months back, they said 10% is also too much. They said only 5% will be allowed. Now going forward, that 5% also will go because your 2A is going to come. And why the 5% also will go? Because of the IFF. So invoice furnishing facility means you as a small dealer, now you can upload your sales invoice on a daily basis. You can upload your sale invoice. The moment you make a sale invoice, you can upload your invoice for the time being, right? Once once the e-invoicing comes, gets implemented for all the businesses above 5 crore, okay, above 5 crore, then you have to compulsorily take the QR code from the IRN invoice reference number you have to get. We will discuss that little later. Quickly, we will discuss that. Right. So now for all the small people who are below 5 crore, tomorrow if 5 crore people are going to take B2B invoice, see the government, one thing I think all of you are aware that government is only concerned about your invoice to B2B, because only in a B2B invoice, the other person who is buying from you, he is going to claim input tax credit, right? So that is the control that they want to bring. That is why even now in the e-invoicing, the government says only when you are raising a B2B sale, when you're making a B2B sale, you have to generate e-invoice up to 500, up to 100 crore, probably from April up to 5 crore. So people below 5 crore, now you can go to the portal, right? You can go to the portal and then you have time limit. Okay, so I will also show you. I'm just quickly explaining. You have a time limit where you can go and upload your sales invoice. So that way, what happens, right? So sometimes, you must have come across, I have come across people who are telling that, sir, nowadays, I mean, like when I supply material to my customer, now the customer says that, you upload the invoice, only then I will pay you the GST amount. Otherwise, I will not pay the GST amount. Why? Because the person now he cannot claim input tax credit even though he is having the tax invoice with them. Now, this by introducing this facility, it is so beautiful that you want full money, including your GST money. Very simple. You raise an invoice today, and then you go to the portal, upload that invoice. The person will, your customer on the other side will immediately see the invoice that is getting uploaded by you, and he knows that he is guaranteed for that input tax credit because it is available on his account, on his portal, right? So now basically he can make you full payment of your invoice also. So that is where the IFF is going to really help you. Okay, so I've explained all those things. Okay, so instead of waiting, this is what I said, instead of waiting for 3 months for the person who's filing quarterly return to get my input tax credit, with this invoice furnishing facility on a daily basis, you can now go and upload your invoice. Okay. So the extent monthly invoice of quarterly filers. Okay, so this is where, though in the new scheme, what you are doing now, you are going to file your return on a quarterly basis. Even though you are filing on a quarterly basis, you can upload your invoice on a daily basis using this invoice furnishing facility. Okay, and the buyer can now claim input tax credit for the same month, the month in which you are uploading the invoice. Otherwise, what used to happen, if you have made a sale in the month of April, right, and you are going to file your GST return in the for the quarter April, May, June by 11th or 13th of so till such time, the buyer cannot claim input tax credit. Now with this facility, the buyer can immediately get input tax credit, because through this IFF facility, through this IF facility, you are able to upload the invoice and the person is able to get the thing. And that way also, I mean, like that this is how, your quarterly return also, at least your outward supply will get auto populated, right? And the best thing is that now it becomes really a helpful thing for the buyer, because once you upload your invoice, he is getting input tax credit, right? He can immediately claim. So that way there is a good cash flow. And with all this pandemic, it is very important that every money saved is every money earned, right? So this is what is the benefit of the IFF. Now, how do we see? There are two ways of IFF. So one is that there is this offline tool that is available where you need to download, and then you need to capture the thing and then upload. There are two ways. One, you can directly go to the portal and then you can manually go and enter all the invoices. If it is one or two invoice, or maybe 5 or 10 invoice in a day, probably it becomes much easier. But just imagine cases where you have hundreds of invoice to be keyed in. Keying in becomes very difficult. right? So you have this offline tool which the GSTN is providing, and with the help of this offline tool, you can capture all the invoices, which is basically is in the Excel form, and you can upload. And also I will tell you how currently you can use Tally for fulfilling this need, and later on when the next release of Tally comes, what benefit you are going to get, I will just now explain to you. So this is what the government is giving. It is giving an offline tool where you can download this offline tool. When you log into your portal, basically you go to the download section. When you click on the download section, you have this offline tool. Once you hover your mouse on the offline tool, you will have this written offline tool. So you have to just click here. You have to just click here, and then you will download. It will take you to the download page. And I think now there is this 3.1.1. So whatever is the latest version, any day you are going to download, you will get the latest version. This must be at least 1 week old. I think now it is 3.1 or something, right? So you will get the latest version, and you have to just click here on the download. And once you click here on the download, it is going to download the it is going to download, and it will be in a zip file. All you have to do is just unzip it. Once you unzip it, you will get these files there. And this is the GSTN offline tool. exe is an executable file where you will install this, and then you will use this offline tool. Okay, so this is one way of doing this. The other way of doing is that you log into your portal, and then you say, for the month of February, for example, you say you are now going to upload your invoice. I'm sure that you are able to see this. Okay, so you will go here to the return dashboard, and then you will say the current year you want to file your return for the month of February, and you will now have these two options open. And if you notice here, it says end date is 13/3. That means you have time till 13th of March for you to upload all your outward supply invoices which you have made for the month of February 2021. So after 13th, this facility will be blocked. You will not get this option. It will be blocked. So two ways I told you. One is prepare offline, where currently you can use the offline tool, which I just now showed you, which you download, and then you upload all your invoices. It is not necessary that you have to file on a daily basis. If you're filing on a daily basis, it is good. So for February month, basically before 13th of March, whatever your total number of bills are there, you can, through offline tool, you can submit it at one shot, or you can submit it at one shot, or you can go to prepare online, click on prepare online, and it will take you to that individual thing where you will select, where you will enter the GSTN number and all those things you will have to enter. So these are the two options that are available for you to upload your invoice on an ongoing basis, or we can say this on a real-time basis. Okay. Next is that, okay, so one, I'm uploading these invoices on a monthly basis. The new scheme is selling that you file your return on a quarterly basis and you make the payment on a monthly basis. How am I going to make payment on a monthly basis? What criteria am I going to apply? So what is the amount that I'm going to arrive to be paid on a monthly basis? So there is a guideline given by the GSTN, and in fact, not just the guideline. The GSTN also calculates and tells you what is the amount that you are supposed to pay on a monthly basis. So how is this monthly payment mechanism is going to work is what we are going to see now. So how the monthly payment is going to work is basically you will make a payment every month before 25th of the subsequent month. That means for the month of February, now you have to make the payment before 25th of March for the month of February. Now there is this the payment form called PMT06. All that will come automatically once you go into the portal. You really don't have to worry about this. Okay, so you will make a payment for month 1 and for month 2, and in the month 3 when you are filing your return, you will know exactly what is the outward supply, what is your GST liability, what is your input credit that is available as per 2A, 2B, and then you will know exactly what is your tax liability. Now whatever is the amount that you have already paid, If it is less, then you will add up the shortfall in the first 2 months that you have paid, and then you discharge your liability when you are filing your return, right? So now there are two methods what the department is as formulated, that it says one method, it says that you can use a fixed sum method, okay, and the second method is called as self-assessment method. So let us try and understand what is this fixed sum method and what is this self-assessment method, right? I will make it very simple. The fixed sum method is very simple. It says in the last quarter, you have made a payment of say 1000 rupees, right? So now it says that, okay, if you have paid a payment of 1000 rupees, you divide, you take 35% of that, because you have paid basically 3 months, correct? So 3 months put together, you have for your outward supply, for on the outward supply of 3 months, you have paid 10,000 rupees. So it says take 35%. So it's simple, 35 first month, 35 second month, and the third month is balance amount you are going to pay. So again, government is playing safe. It is not saying 30, 30 and 33, or it is not saying 33, 33. So how does it work? There is an example I'll tell you. The other one is self-assessment method. This is very simple. Self-assessment is, you know, this month what is the number of, what is your total outward supply, what is your tax liability. You go to your portal, you can see your input credit on a daily basis. Go to the portal, go to 2A, you will get including the invoice number, date of the invoice, every detail you will get, right? So you go there and see what is the input credit that is available to you. Then you find out what is your tax liability, and then you make a payment, right? So these are the two methods. So whichever method is ideal for you, because there are some drawbacks. So if you consider 35%, let us say last quarter I did a very good business because it was a seasonal business. This quarter is a non-season business. Now I am going to land up paying extra money. So the choice is yours, and every month when you are going to make the payment, you can decide whether you want to use a fixed sum method or a self-assessment method, right? So how does this work? If you take the fixed sum method, right? So let us say now for the entire quarter, you have paid, this is the breakup. So you have paid 10,000 rupees CGST, 10,000 rupees SGST, 20,000 rupees IGST. So now it says when you're filing, so the example it is taken here is January to March. So that means now when you're going to make the payment for the April, May, June quarter, you have to now make the payment on for the month of April 2021. So how do you calculate 30%, 35%? So very simple. It says take your total quarterly thing and compute 35% of that, and then you pay this as your tax liability for the month of April and also for the month of May. So this is a fixed amount you can pay, right? Calculate 35%, take this and then calculate first month 35%, second month 35%. You would have already paid 70%. The balance you will now, when you're filing the return, you will actually know what is your liability. So the difference amount you're going to pay this thing, right? So this is what you're going to do in the fixed sum method. Now, if you're using the second scenario. The second scenario is person who's filing the return on monthly basis. If you're filing a return on monthly basis, it says that whatever money that you have paid in the previous month, you pay the same amount in the next month also. Okay. The self-assessment, which I told you, is where you will actually see what is your total outward supply liability, what is your input to credit available, and all those things. Now I'm going to show you how are you going to make the payment on the portal. So you go to the portal and then you can say that payment of tax. You will get an option where you will say payment of tax, and the moment you click on the payment of tax, you are going to get this interface. So here again, basically it says what is the purpose or what is the reason for making this payment through this challan. So you will select monthly payment for quarterly return. You do this and then you specify what is the month, right? So the moment you do, you have the challan type. Now this is what GSTN is going to do. If you click on 35% challan, it will take your last 3 months GST payment and it will take 35% of that and it will fill up automatically in the challan, right? So that is one thing. Okay. And it will also consider your input credit. because the input credit is available on 2A on a monthly basis. It will consider that 35% it is going to take this thing. Okay. Now, if you say challan on self-assessment basis, no value will get filled up in the challan. You will now arrive at your sales and purchase and other thing, and then you will now say what is your input credit available. So do all the calculation and then do it, because in Tally you will get all this information. All you need to do is just see how you are going to get this information, and then you are going to make the payment. Okay, so that is what you do, the monthly payment and thing. So we have understood the quarterly return, why quarterly return, and how you can file your invoices if you want to file, and it is optional, it is not mandatory. Monthly filing or a daily filing of your invoice is optional. So the due date for filing of your quarterly return, okay, very simple. This has already been there, right? So all um South India, this is how you remember. South India, Central India, and West India will file their return on 22nd of the succeeding month of the quarter. Okay. North India, East India, all they will submit the return on 24th of the month of the succeeding quarter. So these are the two, segregated dates that are available for filing of your GSTR3 return. Okay. Then you have, in case if you have not filed your, if you have not made the payment by 25th of the month, and if you have not filed your return within the specified date, what is the interest and penalty? Interest is going to be levied at the rate of 18%, okay, from the 26th of the month following which the date you are supposed to make the payment. And if you are not filing your return within the prescribed time, so this has already been there. So every day delay is going to be 50 rupees per day delay, and I'm sure that you people would have experienced this. There is no more adjust madi, sir. Right. First of all, you are not going to see the face of any officer. So there is no adjust madi. So if you don't pay, you have experienced in GSTR 3B, some of you would have seen this. If any late fee is there, if you don't make the payment, you cannot file your return for the next month, or even for the same month, you cannot file your return. So everything is going to be technology driven. So it is very, very important that you keep up to your deadlines. Now comes your e-invoicing, right? So we will try and understand. I've explained to you what is this e-invoicing, and let's see how this e-invoicing system is going to work, right? So for example, this is you as a company, and then you have this customer to whom you are now going to make, and this customer is B2B customer, right? So what you do, you use your Tally, and then you enter your sales invoice. You have enabled GST in Tally, and then you are now making a sales invoice in Tally, right? So all of you know that we already had the e-waybill facility in Tally, right? So if you are falling, if you are supplying goods, and if the value of goods that you are supplying is 50K or more, then you have to generate a e-waybill, which Tally was also assisting in generating the e-waybill through exporting the JSON file and uploading it on the portal, right? So now you are going to do the invoicing in Tally, and once you do the invoicing, let us assume that you are a business who are covered under e-invoicing, whatever may be the turnover as on date, right? Let's say if you are covered under e-invoicing, then you are going to now capture B2B invoice, and then you are now going to upload this invoice to the invoice registration portal. Now, currently, you have to keep track of three portals. One is your invoice registration portal, one is your e-waybill portal, and the other one is your GST return portal. Right? There are three portals. Very shortly, all these things are going to become one single thing. It becomes much easier. So the first step the government taken is a good step, and then now we will see that everything going to be integrated seamlessly, and then the effort of compliance is going to be minimized or reduced to a greater extent. Okay, so now you are going to upload your invoice. I will tell you, what you have to do to upload your invoice. First, try and understand in a simple way. This is what is going to happen in the e-invoice system, right? And then this is going to verify and see whether in the same invoice number, whether have you already raised an invoice and all those things. It is going to check in the internally. It is going to check. So once it checks everything, then what it does, it will now give you an invoice reference number. That is what we call it as IRN, invoice reference number. So the invoice reference number is going to have two elements. Element number one, QR code. Right, so you must have now seen in the invoices where if you have purchased from a large supplier, you will already know that that QR code is on the right hand side corner of the invoice. Plus, it is going to give you, I think it is 64 digit. I'm not too sure. It is 61 or 64. I'm sorry, 64 or 61 digit acknowledgement number. It is going to give you, right? So it is going to give you, and that you have to have that IRN, which is that QR code, and the acknowledgement number printed on the face of tax invoice. If it is not printed on the face of tax invoice, if the vehicle is moving, right, and then I mean, like if you are supposed to be generating e-invoice, and if you have not done that, your goods can be get confiscated, right? So this is what you have to do. So you will now, and again, of course, if the e-way bill also needs to be generated, that is still there. Hopefully that will get done away with in the coming near future, but currently it is there. So you will have to generate your e-way bill also, and send this invoice and the e-way bill and the goods you are going to do this, right? Now what is this IRN portal? What does this the government portal does? It now pushes this invoice to GST system. Once it pushes your invoice to your GST system, this invoice will automatically get reflected in your GSTR1, because that is going to be your outward supply, right? And also it will automatically go to the your customer to whom you are making sales. In this example, Roy Traders. Your Roy Traders will automatically get updated in his GSTR 2A and 2B, right? Where it will now automatically get reflected saying that this invoice is there. Okay, so it is going to go there, and also based on these information that you are giving, you can also use this information for e-way bill generation if your consignment requires a e-way bill to be generated. So you can get the e-way bill generated also along with your e-invoicing. Okay. So it will send to the GST. This is what I was talking about. IRN portal is one portal, your GSTN portal, then your e-way bill portal. So the IRN portal is going to give the information to the two other portals, e-way bill and your GST return portal. So it is going to go there, and the invoice will get stored in your this thing, and then you will have this unique number. It cannot be again, you can't have another invoice with the same number. Everything is going to check. It is going to update your GSTR1. It is going to update your GSTR2A, 2B of your customer also. Okay. Then you can use this QR code to verify. So actually the original design, if you see, the moment you upload your invoice, you will get your QR code and the acknowledgement number, and the IRN portal is going to send the QR code to the user also, to his registered mobile number or registered thing. So now you can actually, when you scan your QR code, you will actually know that what item you are going to get. And the original design is that if you have not ordered this item, you can cancel it. So don't get confused into all those things. That is still not implemented, right? So currently this is how the things are being done. Okay. Now, if you see from release 1.1 onwards, Tally is given a very simple e-way bill generation system along with e-way bill generation. It's very simple, right? So how does this work? The e-invoicing, right? See, one thing in this, you can't do a dummy demo, because you need the registration to be done at the portal level, right? And only if you are eligible, okay, only then you can opt for e-invoicing. Like today, my so one more thing, just to clarify to all of you. Let us assume in the month of February, you have crossed 100 crore. So the question is, oh, now I've crossed 100 crore. Am I supposed to generate e-invoice? No, because the notification very clearly says any of the previous year. So you are crossing 100 crore in the current year. So you will be eligible only next year. Okay. So because next year in one of this 4 previous year you have crossed 100 crore. So that is what it is, just for your clarification. Right. So now what Tally does is that basically we have captured this in form of a video. Right. So like I said, even though now I have my own company, I am not eligible for e-invoice. So I can't even show, I can't register myself for e-invoice and all those things. Right. So we have this product demo where we are going to show you how easy and simple it is for you to generate e-invoice from Tally. And personally, I tell you, I really loved this feature or the solution that Tally is given. And for the first time, it's very personally I'm saying, for the first time, this is something, a great achievement, that you don't have to go to portal here, there, nothing. Just you be inside Tally, everything Tally does for you. It's a lovely solution that Tally is given. So it says effortless generation of e-invoice using Tally GST. Okay. So now how do you generate a single invoice? This is what it is. Right. So you are doing your normal, you will notice that you are doing your normal sales invoice all this day that you have been doing. Right. So this is important. So now bill to place and all those things is extra information that you are providing. Just see now. Now it says, do you want to generate e-invoice? Right. So when you say yes, it is going to ask you your username and password, because you have to register under the e-invoice portal, IRP, in the portal where you will use your username and password. So that one time you have to enter here, at least for the day till you close Tally, you don't have to do it. And see here, the moment you specify that, what Tally is going to do, let me just 1 sec, hold on. So what Tally is going to do is that the moment you do it, Tally will go in the backend. Tally will open your invoice registration portal. Okay, so it will open the portal, and then it will convert this data in the required format, and then it pushes it to the department for verifying and all those things. Once it is verified, Tally will pull that information, and then it will now put it inside your invoice. You don't even have to update. Like, unlike in the previous one, we were supposed to go back to the invoice and then enter the e-way bill number. All that is not required anymore now. Okay, sorry. I think we were somewhere here. So let me just finish this. So it says e-invoice generated successfully. Right. And it says, do you want to print your invoice? Immediately you can print your invoice. You say, yes, I want to print your invoice. And this is what Tally is going to print. All right. So that's your, let me just quickly stop here for 1 sec. Yeah. Right. So yeah, just 1 sec. Right. So this is your QR code, and this is your IRN reference number, which is, I think it is 61 or 64 digit. And you also have this acknowledgement number. And this is very, very important for you to, capture in the invoice. All this is done automatically by Tally. You don't have to do any extra customization, nothing. Right. So everything what you see here is what you are going to get when you are going to be covered under e-invoice. Okay. Now, like I said, again, Tally is again with this new system. Tally is also made generation of e-way bill very, very simple. You don't have to again do all those things, upload here, there, and all those things. So again, there is a small video on how. So we saw how to generate e-way bill in case where there is no requirement for, sorry, how to generate e-invoice in case where there is no requirement for e-way bill. Now the next video that I'm going to show you is basically generating e-invoice along with e-way bill wherever is applicable. So again, the same sales entry that you're going to do. So there is a configuration you have to do at the beginning. When you are setting up your GST, you have to do that configuration. I'm sure all of you are aware. And these are the additional information you are providing for e-way bill. See, if you notice here, once I have said that I want e-way bill also, let me just quickly show you here. See this. Now Tally is asking you, do you want to generate e-invoice and e-way bill also? Because you have enabled that you want e-way bill also. If you enable, and if your invoice value, and if you're selling goods and your invoice value is above 50,000 rupees, Tally will know that e-way bill has to be generated. Then it will take the same information for your e-invoicing and also for e-way bill. Right, so it says e-invoice and e-way bill generated successfully. So preview, right? So now you have your QR code, right? And you have your, see here, just besides your invoice number, you are also having your e-way bill captured. So e-way bill is also generated and you are not logging into the portal, right? Tally is doing all those work for all of you. Okay, so this your e-invoice QR code and acknowledgement number and IRN number, right? And the e-way bill Tally is automatically giving this, and it also gets updated in your the subscreen of your e-way bill thing. Right, so the acknowledgement number, everything is there. E-way bill details, see, it automatically gets updated. So you don't even have to go and enter here. Okay, so that's about the most simplest solution by Tally for generating e-invoice and e-way bill. Right, now quickly for your IFF, quickly for you to, so I showed you that you have one offline tool that you can download, and even today from Tally you can export the today for your uploading of your invoice, you are supposed to upload your invoice only those invoices that you have made for B2B. Okay, so B2B and any debit note, credit note raised to B2B. Everything is B2B. So invoice, credit note, debit note for B2B invoice. So only this information you have to do it. So today in Tally you can as of today I'm saying you can take a CSV file, okay, and the CSV file is recognized by the offline tool, right? So today you have to do this two-step activity. Export from Tally the CSV file of B2B and debit note, credit note of the registered person, push it into your offline tool, verify, generate the JSON file from the offline tool, and then you go and upload. I showed you online, offline. So you will go to offline and you will upload there. The next release of Tally, which is 1.3, the next release of Tally, which I think very shortly Tally is going to come out with a new release. There they are going to give you a JSON file, which means like how today if you are filing your GSTR1 or GSTR3B, what are you doing? You are directly, Tally gives you both option, na? Take it to offline tool and also JSON file. Similarly, the JSON file that Tally is going to give you, you can directly convert that file and then go to the portal and then you can upload. So you can avoid this intermediary activity or intermediary work of the offline tool. So that is going to come very shortly, right? So that's all I have today on the latest update. and the most critical compliance updates that are required for all of you. So if there are any questions, I can take questions.
Sir, we have a couple of
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
we have the customer has noted down more questions. Sir, one question is filing QRMP is optional.
Sorry. I'm not. Your voice is breaking.
1 second. Sir, one query is that is filing IFF, is it optional or it is mandatory, sir?
It is optional. It is optional.
Okay, and sir, there is one more query came from our customer, Mr. Rupesh. So he's asking that, sir, can we opt out of QRM scheme in between quarter or only after quarter and we will be able to opt out?
There's nothing called opting out, right? See, it has already been there. So in fact, you would have had this option in the month of November or December. You had this option where you can select whether you want to go into the scheme. So that is why I showed you one slide where it says deemed. So if you go to the portal today, now whichever customer has asked this question, if you go to your portal, if you don't see your 3B, like I'd mentioned, that means you are already you have been deemed to be part of this QRMP scheme. So you can't opt out of this. When can you opt out of it? You can opt out only if your turnover in the quarter that you are filing your quarterly return, if it exceeds 5 crore rupee, then from the next quarter onwards, you are outside the scheme. From the next quarter onwards, you will be filing your monthly return normally.
Okay, sir. Sir, third question we have that is it possible to become like monthly filter? Like currently it is quarterly, so is it possible to go for a monthly filter or monthly return kind of thing?
Where? Is it in the portal or is it in Tally we are asking?
Sir, he is asking the portal.
There is no quarterly, no? I mean, now it is all changed. If you are a monthly person, you will have your monthly options of your GSTR 1 and 3B available. If you are filing your GSTR 1 on a quarterly basis, you will have this screen. Let me just quickly show you. This is what you will see. See, if you are already under this quarterly scheme, you will not, at least for the month 1 and month 2, right? So let us take January. January month, you are going to file your return in the month of February. So when you are trying to file your January month GSTR 3B, you will not find GSTR 3B on your portal. You will have only these 3 things, right? So that is one for you to furnish. See, again, the portal very clearly says it is optional. It is not mandatory, right? Then you have this auto drafted GSTR 2A, and then you have this auto drafted GSTR 2B. 2A, 2B, both are the same thing. It gives you more invoice wise detail of the party and all those things. And from here we can import it into Tally, and then you can do a reconciliation of your ITC purchase bill and the ITC that is available there, right? So this is what it is going to be there. So now you have no option. You can't go and say monthly unless you cross 5 crore rupee. I hope this clarifies the question.
Yes, sir.
Whoever is asked, yeah.
Sir, we had couple of more questions, sir. One question is that my aggregate turnover is less than 5 crore, but still the system doesn't allow me to opt in for the scheme.
Your turnover is less than 5 crore.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But what is it? What is it showing? Is it showing him the GSTR 3B on a monthly and GSTR 1 on a monthly basis?
Sir, I'll just ask them. Sir, Ram, sir, can you just elaborate that question?
I will tell you. See, I had shown this in the slide. 1 minute. Let me see. Where is that slide?
It's actually when they opt for that, it's not allowing them to.
Correct. See, this is now all auto done. Now, this is what the example it says. You see the point number 2. Point number 2 says registered person with an aggregate turnover of up to 1.5 crore and who have furnished GSTR 1 on a monthly basis. See why this 1.5 crore is coming here. You see, the threshold limit for filing your GSTR 1 is only 1.5 crore. If your turnover is more than 1.5 crore, you are supposed to file your return on a monthly basis, right? So that is why this threshold limit is mentioned here, right? So if the person, I mean, like sir, whoever has asked this question, if you are filing your GSTR return on a monthly basis, GSTR 1 return on a monthly basis, then you know you will have this monthly thing. You can't opt for quarterly thing, right? So that is what this is the deemed thing. That is what they have done, right? So now again, probably I mean, like depending on the turnover, now when you go to the next financial year, probably I'm not too sure, probably you might have the option to see if it is less than 5 crore, then you can move into the QRMP scheme, probably. So you wait for another
Okay, sir.
24-25 days.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, we have two more queries. Sir, one question is that for a quarterly taxpayer, will he cease his GSTR 2 and 2B also quarterly now?
Every day, as soon as, see, that is what is the IFF facility. IFF is all about, invoice furnishing facility. Let us say you have purchased from me, I am a quarterly return filing person, right? But then you now tell me, because now you attended the session, so now you are going to tell your supplier, boss, see, there is this facility because you know your turnover is less than 5 crore. Do one thing, just upload that invoice on the portal. So he can upload the invoice till the 13th of the next month for the previous month. So you can upload the invoice. The moment he uploads the invoice, probably you might have some time gap, maybe some 12 hours or 24 hours or something. Immediately you will see in your GSTR 2A and in your 2B the input tax credit. Right? It's a real time basis. You can view the input tax credit.
Yes, sir. I think that has helped, sir, because he has replied. Sir, one more question was there, sir. Will a refund be allowed for quarterly filers?
See, as per law, you cannot claim your input tax credit refund. I'm assuming that you are asking the refund of your excess input tax credit. If I'm right, right. So as per law, you cannot claim input tax credit refund except in two cases. Case number one, you can claim your input tax credit refund if you are an exporter or if you are supplying to an SEZ. Number two, if your input tax credit, this is called as inverted tax credit. It is called as inverted tax credit. What is inverted tax credit? See, all the raw material that you are buying, let us say all the raw, you are a manufacturer. Generally, in case of a manufacturer, this scenario will come. So all the raw material that you are buying is 28% GST. But whereas the product that you are manufacturing and you are selling, let us say it is only 18% or 12%. So that means eternally you are going to have excess input tax credit. In the lifetime of your business, you cannot adjust that extra because you are paying 28 rupees, but whereas you are collecting only 12 rupees or 18 rupees from your customer, right? So that is what is called as inverted tax credit. So under those circumstances, you can apply for refund of that excess difference amount of credit that you are carrying in your books of account. So this is the only two case where you can claim refund. All other cases, you can carry forward your excess input tax credit continuously. There is no time limit or there is no time bar for carrying over your input tax credit.
Yes, sir. That has cleared his doubt. He has replied. So, for everyone, any other doubt you are having, you can just ask us. Either you can type in the chat box, so we'll sort it out, or else you can ask us Synergy Solution team members, or you can ask me. We can help you out. Anyone having any doubt, please ask us. We are having some time. Dear everyone, anyone having any doubt, you can please ask. You can unmute or you can chat, or you can just tell to Synergic Solutions so that they can also revert the queries. Sir, there is one query came at some places. I see 100% auto population instead of 35%. Why is it that? So, Ram,
Oh, okay. That that we have to see whether I mean, like whether it is your monthly payment is what it is considering. I've see I've really not seen, because you can't see other people things, something like that. When like people like you, when you discuss, then probably we will see what is the thing. So ideally these are the two things, right? So 35% is what it is going to come. And also you see here we have given this example. One sec, hold on. See, 100% will be if it is on a monthly this thing. If we have say for example, this is the 35% example. The other one is basically if you see if you have paid tax in the month of March, so you have paid 13,000 rupees totally, right? Now you are going to get automatically 13,000. Just one second. Ready. Ready. I'm still in this session. Yeah. So in this case, you see, this is second scenario where filed monthly GSTR 3B from January to March, right? So from January to March, if you have filed your monthly, so which is what we said that where you have opted for monthly GSTR 1, then you are going to pay monthly GST. So in that case, basically you might have got 100%. We have to check this until and unless I don't see in what scenario. Under what scenario that we are looking at is what we have to see. See, this is what is 100%, right? So the example is here. So you have filed your GSTR 3B January, February, March, and the last month, whatever you have paid, the entire amount will become your liability for the month of April. Or, like I said, you can now choose, right? You choose from 35% challan, which system is going to auto compute, or you can say challan on self-assessment basis, which is where the challan is going to be open. No value will get populated, right? So you will now go and then say output minus input, whatever is the difference amount in the output, you go and fill it up in the CGST, SGST, IGST, and if cess is applicable, put it in the cess column. I hope this clarifies, but this why 100%? Sorry, sir. Until and unless I don't see the thing, I cannot answer it. Probably it might, this answer would have not helped you, but still we have to see. And in any case, you can always call up the grievances line. Now they are very responsive. Just call up and then tell them what is the basis. So I've just shown you the example. Probably it could be one of this example under which you are falling. So we have to check this properly.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyone having any doubt, they can ask, or they can just type in the chat box so we can help you out in the queries.
I think that's all, sir.
Okay.
I think that's all, sir. Most of the queries are on IFF only, sir. IFF and
yeah. Okay, no problem. One very, very important thing that all the attendees, my sincere request would be that for the next 2-3 months, please try to get all the update related to GST, right? So though you might not like You might not understand what is this notification, what is this thing. Probably if you can get in touch with us, we will keep you updated, and then basically check with your chartered accountant, check with your tax consultant, and then see what changes are happening. Because I mean, like I've seen people calling me and telling, "Arey yaar Pugal, I mean, like now I'm not seeing my GSTR 3B. What is happening?" They were not aware. On January month, generally we Indians, we always wait for the last date, right? So that is there in our DNA. So I mean, like 22nd was the last date, right? For Karnataka, yes, it is 22nd. So 21st, our man calls up and he says, "I don't know, there is something wrong with the portal. My GSTR 3B is vanished." Right. So for you not to have any surprises, it is better that you have some kind of because definitely it is going to impact your organizational compliance aspect of it. It is going to impact your cash flow, and so many things is going to impact your organization. So it is better you try to have the macro level, the major changes that is happening, and how these changes are going to impact your business. It is very important for all of you to keep tab on these things. Okay, so thank you all for attending, and let me just sign off, and I'll hand over to Abhishek.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
thank you, sir.
So thank you everyone for giving your time. And what we'll do, sir, many of you have asked the queries we have sorted out. So if you have any other queries, please reach out to Synergic Solutions. The Korandaram sir is there, the team is there, and you can also reach out to me also, so that we can help you out with any other queries you're having. So thank you,
Sir.
Pugal,
Thank you
sir,
very much.
for giving
Yeah.
your time, sir, and for explaining all the queries. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And thank you, Korandaram, sir,
Thank
and
you, sir.
Synergic
Thank you.
team for giving your time and coordinating for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.